Okay, so down at the bottom left-hand corner here on Tal'Darim Altar, we have Fnatic MSI's Kawhi Rice spawning as our yellow Terran player, just knocked out Dignitas Killer. So Dignitas' new player is Mers, spawning as our blue Terran here in the top right-hand corner. And we are going to have TVT action cross positions on Tal'Darim Altar.
Yeah. What do you think we're going to see, Cat's Pajamas?
Oh my god, we are going to, well, if we follow the current state of the game, we are going to have a massive amount of Blue Flame Hellions, and we'll eventually move into that mech phase.
And then maybe we might have some nukes? MVP versus top?
Yeah, I'm going to call it right now. We're just going to have a nuke rush versus a battlecruiser rush, and we'll see who wins.
I'm going to call it right now. We're going to have a bunch of dropships flying in, a quad nuke inside the Terran's main, blowing everything out of the sky. That's what I saw at the GSL, at least for game one, and that was pretty awesome.
All right.
But Terran versus Terran is honestly, man, I mean, a lot of people are like, ugh, TBT. I understand there's a lot of TBTs going on right now. Terran seems to be the top race right now, top dog. They're on the pedestal, but at least it is the most dynamic mirror matchup.
Yeah, think about it this way. If we had Zerg or Protoss on top right now and you had to watch ZVZ or PvP all day long, I'd pretty much kill myself.
I wouldn't. I would love to see ZVZ. Maybe PvP. PvP, I'd be like, just blast the monitor down. Actually, dude, I love StarCraft. I don't really care. As long as I'm watching StarCraft, I'm having a good time.
And yes, I do agree with that. Would not trade this job for anything in the world. It is an absolute pleasure to be able to get in front of a camera and cast for you guys every day. Really is. So here we go. It looks like Kawhi Rice actually going with a gasless FE. Mers, on the other hand, getting gas first, so he'll probably do some form of a Blue Flame Hellion expand, although he could very well completely switch that up if he wants to.
Yeah. And I just want to get back into a little bit of theory crafting about the game. I mean, I think the reason why PvP ends so quickly most of the time, no defender's advantage. A lot of offensive advantages for PvP. Terran versus Terran, why does it take so long to end? A lot of defender's advantages. Siege tanks, positional use of your buildings, big maps come into play a lot as well. And all of that combined makes Terran versus Terran a match that typically takes a long time to reach its conclusion.
Yeah, certainly. And especially cross positions on Tal'Darim Altar.
Yes.
As we have Command Center coming up for Kawhi Rice, as he did go through with that 1 rank FE, as we were talking about. Mers, on the other hand, hiding a barracks down at the bottom right while he puts up Tech Lab on his first one. Now, I don't know if that is going to be for, actually, see, yeah, it is going to be a Reaper opening, but what is he going to use this second rank sword down at the bottom right? Certainly a little bit of an unconventional opening out of him.
Yeah, that's a little unconventional to get that second barracks up. I've seen it in TVT before. Sometimes Terran players just want to get that extra round of production out before they get the command center down. We'll just have to wait and see. There's a third barracks? Is that a third barracks, or am I being confused? No, it's the same barracks.
Just two. He's
and
another Tech Lab coming up.
Down. So I would imagine we're going to have a lot of Marauders opening. I don't think a bunch of Reapers would be the viable option here for Mers, but he might prove us wrong.
And it looks like one Reaper is revealed.
Yeah.
But that SCV did not
see the second barracks,
which is producing yet another Reaper. Now, if he decides to do some sort of 3 Reaper attack and just pick off a bunch of Marines, because he will be able, with the 3 Reapers, to one-shot Marines and be able to just make his way in and do a pretty ridiculous amount of damage. This could be effective, but he's going to have to inflict economic damage for it to really become viable.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, he is expanding behind this aggression, no doubt. And no, he's not.
Oh, he's expanding, but he's just taking control of the Zelnaga towers.
But he's not using those Reapers he made off the 2 barracks.
Well, there was one Reaper. I think he may just be waiting for second and third to make their way out.
And he's cutting Reaper production now in favor of another barracks.
Well, yeah, another barracks, and we have Stimpak coming up. There we go. There's our 3 Reapers.
Well, the nice thing about Tal'Darim is there is that little valley on the south side of Kawhi Rice's main where the Reapers can kind of hop down below. I like to call it the Valley of Death, and then hop up. So I think that's exactly where Mers is headed to. Yeah, he's going to head for the Valley of Death here, and look for him to try to harass the economy in whichever way possible. But certainly he's going to have to do some kind of damage here to equalize the game a bit.
We have a couple of Marines in position to do some damage.
Oh, they're waiting right over the Valley of Death.
Yep, that's going to be the only Marines that are actually able to do anything, though. So here we go, 3 Reapers making their way in. A couple of SCVs are going to die. Kawhi Rice bringing the rest of his Marines back. Mers decides that that's too much to attack into right away, and he's going to run along the north side with his Reapers.
Yeah, I was about to ask you right there. Is Kawhi Rice expanding? And yeah, there's the command center about to go down, and a Marauder comes out. That will absolutely put a stop to the Reaper harass, and the Reapers will turn tail and go home. So, I think Mers did a little bit of damage there. I don't know if he equalize the cost of opening that second barracks right away, but you guys can see he is down by about 5 supply right now. So I don't know if the Reapers did enough damage, but certainly they put a little bit of pressure on Kawhi Rice, and Kawhi Rice is going to throw up a bunker at the front door.
Well, I think he certainly wishes he has that 150 gas back, because he could have put down reactors and extra upgrades quite a bit earlier, because they didn't really do all that much damage. I think he only killed one SCV. Three workers killed altogether, but one of them was the scouting SCV before. So
yeah,
factory coming up now for Kawhi Rice, so he's going to be able to move into quite a bit of different tech options. I don't know if he'll go right for Blue Flame Hellions or if he's just going to move into tanks as fast as is humanly possible. He's actually producing nothing out of there. It looks like he's just waiting for the 100 gas. We see a starport. Kawhi, there we go. Starport coming up.
Yeah, starport's coming up right now. So there's a starport, and Dignitas.Bischu, what is he going to do fresh off his win back in the main? Still no revelation on his tech choice, and finally we have a factory coming down for Murs. Such a late factory because he invested so much of his early gas into Reapers, and that could come back to haunt him because Kawhi Rice is already moving up to starport tech.
But he is pretty far ahead on Stimpack tech. He already has a research, so he could decide to move out and do some sort of a timing or something like that. Yep, scan goes down, sees exactly what Murs has to offer, which is, of course, going to be 4 racks plus factory at the moment. Looks like Murs is really having trouble with lag, unfortunately. Of course, he was playing from Europe at the time, or so I do imagine. So, looks like it's causing him a little bit of a headache. Quite unfortunate.
Yeah, well, that's the one nice thing about casting from a replay. You don't have to deal with the lag.
That is true.
Yep.
Because it does get kind of annoying whenever you're live casting.
Yep.
All right, and Kawhi Rice going to pick up. Nope, he's just going to use that reactor the way he was floating over this factory. Didn't know if he was going to go into Hellion production or what the case was going to be. We do see a pretty similar game plan to last game in that where he was playing Killer, deciding to move into almost, I think, the same number of production facilities off of 2 bases as well. So there we go. Another reactor actually coming up. So this is just pure Marines out of Kawhi Rice for the time being.
And interestingly, no Blue Flame upgrade from either player here, which seems to be the predominant build really in Terran versus Terran nowadays. But given how both players opened, not a lot of gas to go into Blue Flame upgrade, and Kawhi Rice went immediately into Starport. So it looks like both players are going to play the old school Terran versus Terran style, which was just bio with a small healthy mix of tanks. But actually, there's still no tanks on the field yet, so it could just be all-out bio here, which is very unconventional Terran versus Terran for the modern day age.
Would very much come down to whoever gets the better positional engagement. Both players even deciding to expand at the same time, as we do have command centers coming up for both at the moment. So very, very, very passive gameplay out of both these players. Kawhi Rice finally going after Armory, and actually Merge putting it up at the same time along with his second engineering bay. Well, so almost down to the upgrade. We have now identical mid-game strategies.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine the Armories for the +2/+2 as both of their 1/1s are about to finish. I don't see a Thor coming into the game at this point. It would be kind of silly. Thor is here. Random timing.
Thor is here.
But yeah, I mean, don't you think it's weird how these 2 Terran players are just playing a very unconventional nowadays Terran versus Terran style? There's no tanks, no Blue Flame Hellions, just all out bio.
And I'm curious what sort of vision that each player has of each other, because if we were seeing Blue Flame out of any one of these players at the moment, Blue Flame would obliterate these mass Marine forces.
Yeah. Murs doesn't even have a single Marauder on the field right now, I don't think. If we pull up the units tab, it is 50 Marines versus 37 Marines and 2 Marauders. That's literally what we have on the field right now for both these 2 players. Very unconventional. I wonder if they had like a gentleman's agreement beforehand. They're like, you know what? I don't like fire. Me no like fire neither. No Blue Flame Hellion. Agreed.
Apparently, they just became a stereotypical 50s Native American portrayal on
No, they're
Hollywood.
Cavemen. Cavemen.
It's just the way he said it. Anyway, so Kawhi Rice makes his way out.
There's
now.
a tank.
Like he's going to be first to be aggressive. And
welcome back to the 21st century, ladies and gentlemen. We have tanks coming into play.
Indeed. Yeah. All right, tank coming up along with Siege Mode, and that could very well make the difference. Who knows? Yep. Orbital Command actually coming up from Murs, so he feels confident enough with his position that he doesn't need a PF. We'll give him an economic advantage as we move forward. But here we go. Kawhi Rice has a lot of units. We're waiting for some sort of aggression or attack, folks. It's been a while.
You know, remember what this reminds me of? It's like World War I.
Yeah.
No tanks or anything like that, just all-out mass infantry, and then finally the tank was introduced towards the end of World War I.
Just put up the trench upgrade as you go along.
That'd be awesome, man. A trench upgrade for Terrans. Just like they dig a trench, in the middle of the field. Their Marines can hop inside. That's kind of like what the bunker is, actually. Anyways, we have the all-out Marine army here from Mers. Someone named this guy MKP2. I'm just going to have to see what he does with these Marines, but we do have a difference in Kawhi Rice's tech. He has gone for tanks, and I think that's going to make a huge difference if he can get enough tanks out.
Well, it's actually Mers that put up the first couple of tanks.
Really?
So yeah, it's Mr. Blue.
Oh, okay.
But that's why I think he decided not to PF and decide to orbital command instead, because he knows he's going to be pretty secure behind siege tanks in a defensive position if he needs to. But nonetheless, let's take a look. Both players on pretty even upgrades. So it looks like Mers is going to be a little bit ahead on his bio upgrades, and he is also going to have +1 Terran vehicle weapons. But both players have been allowed to macro free.
You know, Mers is actually pulling ahead of Kawhi Rice in this game. Mers has 190 supply and Kawhi Rice has 168. What is going on with Kawhi Rice?
Well, looks like Kawhi Rice is putting down a bunch more barracks and yet another command center.
He just got straight up out macroed by Mers. Straight up, his macro is not on par right now.
Mers is a pretty good player. And you talk about players that play fast. Mers is actually out APMing Kawhi Rice. Yeah, I tried to turn that into a verb. It really didn't work out well. Mers sieging himself up. He's going to start taking control of the Zelnaga Tower. Our lone Marauder goes down. And Mers going to push his way and start to force his will in the middle of the map. Didn't know if Kawhi Rice was going for a flank or if he's going for a base trade.
This is going to be the Chinese infantry versus the Mongolian army, man. We've got all Marines versus all Marines, a couple of tanks in the background. There's going to be so much blood at the end of this. You can imagine like the general walking out across the field, counting how many dead bodies there are, and then declaring my side as the winner. That's what we're about to see.
Oh, here we go. Mers is going to make his way up. Stems first and gets the better initial engagement and has the better concave, but he needs to pull back to his tank fire here in a second. It looks like he is going to attempt to flank. Kawhi Rice is actually losing a ton of supply. Kawhi Rice actually getting smashed. And Mers didn't even need to use his tanks.
That was a little maneuver out of Braveheart right there, calling in the little flank from the side.
They may take our lives, but they will never take
Hold the
our
line!
freedom.
Hold the line!
Bunker goes
I
down.
think Mers did it.
I think there it was. GG, so bad lag. Just a macro to max and one engagement match there.